How's it going? It's Wellness Wednesday, and we live today. If you guys don't know me, I'm I'm Cherette. But just be healthy now. I gotta get used to that. I think it's so cute when people have videos and they can point like I'm Cherette. But my finger never goes in the right spot. I'm not used to it yet. It's okay. My name's Cherette. Today is Wellness Wednesdays, and today I absolutely don't have a topic. I'm just gonna talk about life because that's what the fuck's going on today. So in general, I talk about things about healthy. I look at health from a holistic standpoint. So I don't think that we can just talk about, you know, food. It was feeling kind of weird, y'all. Okay. My crown's a little. Anyway, so when you're talking about health, I don't feel like you can just talk about food or working out. You have to talk about like spiritual things, releasing, how to go through life, flow, those sort of things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Flowing through life, because that's what the fuck I'm over here doing, y'all. Seriously? Life has thrown a couple of darts today, the last week. But it's okay. So I'm literally just going to tell y'all like what's going on with my life and the lessons that I'm learning from it, because that's what makes me healthy, that I'm a fucking human and I flow through life. Today I'm drinking cojita. If you've ever been to Puerto Rico, you know what this is. If not, you probably should. This is by Chef Cutie Pie, and I drunk it right before I got on, and it has rum in it, a lot of it. Hit her up. It's delicious. So I have been planning my first marketing strategy, and basically it was fucking amazing. I marketed as though I was, well, it looked maybe though I was pregnant. That's kind of what my marketing was. It's 40 weeks and counting, and I made all these cute little posts with like me and like in white, and I was like holding my stomach, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go live on Monday. And I went live on Monday, but everything literally went to shit. Like my live on Monday didn't even go live, y'all. I had a live event that was not live. Okay. So this isn't that funny, but it is. Like I planned this event, I marketed for it for like a week or two, which I didn't give myself enough time in the first place. But I marketed for it, and I got all of this, like so many people were just waiting, like, oh, I can't wait for this live. What's this big announcement? And then I went live and it didn't go live. Nobody watched it. Well, I can't say that. 4 people watched it. And I was basically talking to a room of my good friends. I had giveaways, like I spent all this money on it, and it just didn't work. And the day was already fucked up. Okay. Like I got a camera from somebody who just has shown me over and over that like they don't really fuck with me like that. Like we're cool, but like not really. You know what I'm saying? So I was streaming live. I wanted good quality. So I was like, let me get your camera. And I was supposed to get it the morning of Sunday, and I got it Sunday at like 3-4 p.m. and I had something to do that night, so I didn't even know how I was going to stream. Ended up fucking that off and ended up streaming from my computer with the same quality that you see here, which is fine. I mean, you see me, but it's like supposed to be an event. It's supposed to be crispy, right? That didn't work out. So that was me not trusting myself, though. We'll get back to all these lessons, after I tell you the story. So that was already going crazy. And then I got a call. I got a call that my grandma is not doing well. And it was a lot. Okay. And then I FaceTimed her and I was like, fuck, I have to get home to see her. So that all happened within 3 hours of my live event. Got all of myself together and everything. And then I ended up not going live. So that shit is so good. It has so much rum in it, though. I don't know. Anyway, so I went to go see my grandmother the next day. It was beautiful. She's still here, guys. Don't be sad. Um, Even if she's not, like, we can't be sad about death. Like, transitioning is only, it's like a death to a body, but that's not it to a person. Whole nother life. But so yeah, so I went home. I saw my grandma. It was beautiful. Kind of emotional, of course, but not even kind of. It was emotional, but you know, that's to be said. A transition is still a transition, no matter how you feel about it. Then I got some camping gear because I'm going camping on Friday. Forgot that shit. Forgot my my setup that I usually do to stream live. I forgot that at home. And the day I just woke up and was like, fuck life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have made 0 sales for my big event that didn't go live. I was actually, I'm coming out with a new detox guide. And so I was selling that, and people on my email list didn't get the email because I apparently did not integrate my list. So it's just like all these things were happening and nothing went according to plan. Like nothing, y'all. Nothing. Literally, the only thing that was planned was that I showed up at 7 and actually still did it. But everything went to shit. Okay. And so today I'm feeling crazy. And I'm like, fuck, I have a massage client at 1. And I'm a neuromuscular therapist, so I do massage, but my massages are not like normal massages, okay? Like I go in the room, I like burn sage and I tell like all these affirming things to people. And I activate muscles in my massage, which is basically what's the word I'm looking for? You isolate a muscle and you make it strong. So during my session, I'm like a personal coach almost. It's just through muscles. So I'm like, you know, when we have to release a muscle, I'm like, you know, breathe deep and just imagine all of this pain and tension in this face and just let it all go on your exhale. And then when we strengthen the muscles on the other side, I'm like, feel how strong you are, like how you're holding up your leg. I'm like, oh, you know, like you're so strong. Like I tell my clients, like, you're so strong. Like, oh, you're releasing so nicely. And it's funny because I get my energy right before I get to my session, but in the session, it's the synergy that happens. And while I'm encouraging them, it's like I'm encouraging myself. So I tell them how strong they are, and it reminds me of how strong I am. And I tell them to let go and release, and it reminds me to let go and release. So I had a session today, and it just reminded me to like chill the fuck out. Because it's not that serious, okay? We're sitting here and we're living life and we wake up every day and we're so blessed and so fortunate to just be here. If I can show up to Wellness Wednesdays at 4:00 and talk to you, I have my breath, I have my life, I have my flower crowns that I freaking love. What's so horrible? Like, so what? My live didn't go live. So what? Like, I have life. And if I didn't learn anything else from visiting my grandma, that is so fucking beautiful. You know what was also beautiful is I got to sit with her and people called her and told her how amazing she was. And it made me think like, you know what? I've been marketing because I'm doing 40 weeks of abstinence. So for 40 weeks, I am not going to have sex. And I'm focusing on me and focusing on my business. And that is the part of my 40 weeks. And what I'm realizing is that right now, I kept wanting to do my 40 weeks when I wanted to do it. And I said I was going to start it now because I'm doing this live. And on the day that I'm doing the live, I'm going to start my 40 weeks. And it's like, you know what? The 40 weeks can't start right now because my grandma's transcending. And I have to deal with that. I have to grieve it and go through the process. And I don't fucking want to create content when my grandma transcends. Like, what the? So I can't start my 40 weeks. And I know that I can't prepare for this to happen. But I also have to prepare for me not wanting to do anything. Me waking up some days and all I want to do is go for a walk. Me wanting to just sit with her after she transcends. Like, my father transcended, and what I learned from him was that when people transcend their spirits, they have to lift. Literally, they have to lift up. I felt my father. My father, when he transcended, his spirit was not ready. Excuse me, when I talk about it, it upsets me because my dad, he is an amazing man. He taught me so much. He is a pilot. He taught me business, but he's not here to share it with me. And when he passed, his spirit was like super unsettled. Like, oh my God. It felt like he was just wrestling. Like it was heavy and it felt like he was wrestling. And I just feel in my spirit that when he passed, it was a moment of struggle. And I don't think anybody deserves that. I think that no matter how you live this life, what you do, if there's an inkling inside of you of being good, trying to do what's right, you deserve to transcend in peace. And the one thing that my dad taught me was that a lot of the reason why we can't transcend in peace is because of our health. That's why I have Just Be Healthy Now, because my father transcended and I felt how horrible his spirits felt. It did transcend. The story ended great, you guys. Like, I played music for him every day and I talked to him and I lit candles for him and I had dinner with him. And this was between the time that he passed and when his funeral was. I just worked with him. I sat with him and I was like, I would go out to runways and drink with him. And by the time his funeral came, there was a moment where the firefighter department, he was a firefighter, they came out and they blew the last call. And I felt it. It was like this big gust of wind came. It was like fucking tornado almost. And when the wind came, it just rustled everything around. And in that moment, they rang the last bell for it. It was beautiful. They rang the last bell for the fallen soldier. And when the bell started to ring, his spirit like lifted and it got light. And ever since that moment, I felt him in a spiritual realm, like very light. His spirit is so light now. And he comes around all the time. Like I feel him all the time. I talk to him all the time. And so I literally felt his process. And that shit kicked me in the ass. I was like, I can't die like this. I feel like we're all going to transcend one day, but watching how my family is going, it hurts my feelings. I feel like there's something I have to be able to do to help them. I'm getting emotional. But I have to help. If I can help myself, I have to help somebody because our bodies are not supposed to break down like this. We're not supposed to be. My dad went to mow the lawn and his heart drowned in his own fluids. And that's how he transcended. And that's not supposed to happen. We're supposed to be healthy. Our bodies are supposed to work. We're not supposed to have our kids crying on fucking lives because we drowned in our heart fluids. It's not okay. And being healthy, people always are like, oh, well, I'll continue to eat the fried chicken because my grandma ate the fried chicken and she lived and we always have to die. But we don't have to die like that. We don't have to die and our spirits are heavy and we're not ready. We can transcend and it be a healthy way. We can go peacefully. Even like looking at my grandma, like my grandma is like, she's one of the healthiest people I know. But like, I remember when I first found out she got diabetes. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about? Like Martha? Hell no. Hell no. She doesn't even eat crazy. She eats very meticulously. She in my definition, before I got into this lifestyle, she was one of the healthiest people I knew. She by no means is someone who's like bogging down on crazy things or whatever. But what I'm learning, even from her, transitioning in this life is that everything I put in my body matters. If I eat preservatives, it preserves in my body. If I'm not eating fresh vegetables, then my body can't be fresh. I'm grateful because her transition is a lot more peaceful. You know, she's 91 years old. She's so blessed. I love my grandma so much. She's walked this life and she has taught me so much, including health. I have a problem with, which actually my dad, me and him talks about this all the time. I have a problem with portion control. And the first person I know who taught me portion control is my grandma. My grandma would go to restaurants and she order food and be like, go ahead and give me that carry out, baby. Separate the food automatically. Excuse me, y'all. The cojito has rum in it, so I had to drink water. She was the first person to teach me about portion control. And so now, of course, I struggled with it for a long time. And now that I'm coming back to it, it's like a lot of the things that she did, eating light, starting her breakfast right. I see, like my grandma is not transcending like most people's grandmas. Okay, she over there, she's good. She's not in pain. It's still a process. Our body has to go through a process. But what it has taught me is that there are tools that I have in a holistic sense that can help me. I feel bad that what I know now, I learned it so late that I couldn't share with my father or I couldn't share with my grandma. Me and my father used to talk all the time and he was a willing vessel, but I just didn't know. I didn't know about how to detox appropriately. I didn't know about intermittent fasting. I didn't know about good bacteria in your gut. I didn't know about herbs, and it's like sometimes it gets heavy. I have, my uncle is, his kidneys are failing and he's feeling bad. And, my mom, my dad, like all these people around me, my friends, they're having all these health issues. And it's like, I just want to give people information so that we don't have to go like this. Like we can just live and our bodies function. My heart is hurting right now. It's not even just my dad. It's not even just my grandma. But it's so many people in my life. And I look at it and it's like, I want people to understand what it means to let go of dairy. You're not even letting it go. You're gaining your life. You're gaining not having arthritis when you're however old. When you stop eating meat, you're not letting go of meat. You're gaining a life without cancer. You're gaining a life without diabetes when you can eat natural sugar. If you let go of white sugar, you are gaining a life. You're gaining your life. And that is so much more important than what the fuck fried chicken tastes like. It's not that important. Fried chicken does not taste so good that you can literally have a heart attack and die. And your loved one has to find you on the floor and watch people resuscitate you. We are living so sick and I'm tired of it. We have to do better for us, for our loved ones, for our generations. Like, we can't just go and be like, oh, well, I'm gonna just live my life like this. And, like I'm gonna die one day anyway. What happens when you die? Like, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? We can literally live lives and our bodies just let go peacefully. And I think one of the things that is coming to me now is that we literally do not believe that. We're in a society. I look at my grandma, right? Like my grandma had parents who owned a farm. On my dad's side, okay, on my dad's side of the family, his family still owns a farm. They grew up with food that literally came from the ground that they grew, and then they ate it. I have a friend who works at Publix, okay, in the produce department, and I love having conversations with him. At Publix, at this one Publix location just one Publix location. Mind you, at this location, there is a Kroger and a Walmart in walking distance. Did y'all hear that? In where this Publix is, there's a Kroger and a Walmart in walking distance. Both have grocery stores. And this Publix gets a truck of produce every day. They get new produce every day. Do you understand how much produce they have to get in order, like who they're serving? Like, understand how many people are coming into Publix to buy produce for them to get a truckload of produce every day with 2 grocery stores in walking distance, and they're getting truckloads every day too. This blows my mind because what this is telling me is no one's growing their food. No one knows where their foods come from. No one knows the process of their food before they put it in their mouth. In order for the food to get to you in a grocery store, it's grown in a commercial farm. So even if you're talking about produce that's organic, commercial organic is still not as good as like small farm grown, right? So it's at a commercial farm. It has to get picked and stored to go on a truck to go to whatever destination it has. And then it has to get off the truck and be loaded into a cooler and be stored at the store. Before your food goes out to where you can see it, do you know your lettuce and your greens get chopped off and they get soaked in water before you even get it out to see it? Why? Because it looks limpy and halfway lifeless. So they plump it back up by putting it in water so that it looks like it has more life when it gets to you. Now, at the quickest amount of time, you're talking about 2 to 4 days before you see the produce after it's picked. Even if you're getting the best produce, if you have days in between it getting picked, from back in the day when we were actually eating right, they were getting all the nutrients from the ground right there. You pick it and you eat it, and your body's getting all the nutrients. Right now, we don't barely even know what that is because we're eating. So you're talking about from 2 to 4 days. We'll just go with 3 because it's a minimum. So you buy the produce in the store and then you hang on to it for another 3 days. Your produce is 7 days old before you even eat it. So you have 7 days of nutrients gone. You don't even know where it's coming from. So if it's a commercial farm, they're using all kinds of chemicals, whatever. Understand that if you're eating food that's preserved in grocery stores, you're adding toxins to your body. So I talk to people about this all the time. Like, oh, people tell me all the time, oh, I went plant-based. Oh, I was vegan. I'm like, okay, well, what were you eating? If you're eating produce from stores, there's still an imbalance because you have chemicals in the food that you're eating. So you're eating the good green vegetables, but you're also eating the chemicals that they were sprayed with. And guys, I know it sucks. It sucks so bad. Never in the life of ever did we have to think about so much about what we put in our mouths because food used to be real, but it's not. And I want to say it was Nixon. When did okay. And I'm gonna just tell y'all how the food industry got to where it is right now. I'm looking on my phone because I don't want to lie to y'all. I don't want to lie to y'all about this because I get it. Sometimes I get it mixed up. I get it mixed up like who I'm talking about, because if you start studying food, you will see that food, yes, it was Nixon. Food is directly related to the climate of our society. So high fructose corn syrup, basically it's what we put in our food that makes it taste sweet. But here's the thing. Our bodies are literally made perfectly. If you don't believe in that, then you probably don't believe in a higher power. If you do believe in a higher power, then you should believe that your body was made perfect. And fuck all that bullshit talking about Christians, like we were born in sin and like all this stuff. When you are born into this world, you are born perfectly. Unless in utero, Your mama fucked your shit off. That can happen because when a woman is pregnant with a baby, okay, the body overrides the mother to give nutrients to the baby. That's just how it works. So if your mom is eating pure junk, when you were a fetus, you're going to take all the nutrients from her first, and the body's going to leave her with whatever she got. Diet and pregnancy are a whole nother thing. But this is why it's so important for women to not be like, oh, I'm pregnant, let me just eat all the crap in the world. That shit'll kill you. It'll have you bed rest for 3 months doing crazy things because your body will override you to take care of the baby. Okay. So if you are getting toxins in your body as a pregnant woman, and I'm going to just use crack because sugar is crack, natural flavors, MSG, all that's crack. Okay. So I'm going to just call it crack. Okay. So if your mom is eating crack while you're in utero, guess who comes out liking MSG? You. Okay. So we have lots of problems with chemicals. Soy, lectin, all of this stuff. We're not supposed to have soy in our body. Why? Because our bodies are made perfectly. If we put the amount of nutrients, minerals, and water that we're supposed to in our body, everything works. Your kidneys can pump out how they're supposed to. Your lungs can breathe how they are. Your heart's going to pump blood around you and everything's going to go nicely. What happens when we introduce chemicals into our body is our body cannot recognize them. And so our body's like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Okay. So when Nixon was president, we were going through a famine. What do you call it? A drought. Okay. So he, I think he flew to Japan or something. He met a scientist and he was like, bro, look, I need to feed these people, but I don't got budgets. We're rationing out things. What's going on? So the scientist was like, oh, well, let's invent high fructose corn syrup. Okay. So what high fructose corn syrup is when you eat it, your tongue, it tastes sugar and sweetness, but in your body, on the inside of you, your pancreas, nothing knows how to process it. So over time, and if you don't believe that you are eating crack, every time you bust something open from a package, read the ingredients. High fructose corn syrup, freaking crack, y'all. High fructose corn syrup is crack. Like I said, MSG, crack. Natural flavors, fucking crack. And I don't care if it's organic or not. They're all crack, okay? White sugar, white flour, it's all crack. It's all crack. If you want to know why you love Chick-fil-A sandwiches so much and why their chicken's so much better, it's not because of that one little pickle they put on the bun, boo-boo. They have MSG in their chicken. You crave Chick-fil-A because it's crack, okay? It's crack. So you take all of this crack and you put it into your body. Now, we're just talking about those. Now, xanthan gum is an industrial ingredient that they use to coagulate piping. They use it to coagulate piping in the construction industry. That's what xanthan gum is. So we have all of these things in our food because the byproducts of what companies produce comes out. Like xanthan gum is a byproduct, right? So they're like, oh, well, we don't know what to do with this, so let's sell it off and put it in food. That's why it's the Food and Drug, what do they call it? The Food and Drug Administration, because your food and your drugs are the same. So over time, what happens is that your body has so many chemicals in it, it doesn't know what to do. So it can't process it anymore, and your organs start to fail and shut down. Now, there's a difference between your organs and things being overloaded and shutting down, and them shutting down naturally because the time has come. I say all that to say, give up the fucking chicken. Give up, like, even if it's not for a lifetime, give your body a rest, okay? Like, all these toxins are literally the reason why disease can fester in our bodies. And it doesn't even look crazy at first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look crazy at first. But over time, it just builds and builds. And the reason why we see people transitioning like we do in our life right now, bone disease, cancer, diabetes, all these things, it's because we are overloading our system with chemicals that our system cannot process. So if you want to start on your health, because I know I just dropped y'all all this information. It's like, where do I start? Detox that ass. Okay? That's the product that I was coming out with, but everything with the shit, and now I have to recalculate. So I'll be coming out with that one day. I don't know when, because I'm rolling through life right now. So that's that. That's what I'm going through. That's what my life is. I know I went off on a tangent on food, but if y'all can't tell, the reason why I created Just Be Healthy Now is I'm tired of seeing my people go out how they do. I'm tired. We have to get healthy so we can help ourselves, help our children. Don't you dare be talking about helping somebody else and you're stuffing your face and you're not walking or doing something to move. Detox, move around so we can get back to ourselves and live our lives. And we have to unify in our health, okay? Help yourself. That's all I got, guys. I probably went off on a tangent. I hope that made sense to somebody. But if y'all can't tell, I'm kind of in my feelings today, and that's okay. I'm just roll through these punches. And next week, hopefully, I'll be like all flowers and looking like my crown. My crown helps me, though. I love them. That's what I got for y'all today. I hope that with these Wellness Wednesdays, y'all can understand that I'm human as fuck and I can inspire y'all to walk in the path of health that is for you. I do think that all of our paths are different. I do not suggest that anybody go plant-based like me, but I do suggest that you don't fucking eat meat all day, every day, or dairy ever. I do believe in giving up dairy and meat, but hey, you know, you have to live your life. If you can go, instead of eating meat 7 days a week, drop it down to 4 or 5, you're doing yourself good. You're being healthy right now with what you got. With the willpower that you have, you can do something. You can fast for 3 days. You can maybe not eat meat 1 day a week. You can let go of dairy. And then what happens is that your body, you give it a break and it starts to process. And that's really what being healthy is all about, is letting your emotions process, your body process, your sensations process, giving yourself a break to process. All right, so I'm going to give myself a break from Wellness Wednesdays right now so I can go and process my life. Taking my own advice. How about that? Tune in with me, you guys, next Wednesday. I'm going to be here, right here, same time, same place, Wellness Wednesdays, okay? My name is Cherette. Hit me up, justbehealthynow.com. That's my website. Join my email crew because I'm fucking awesome. And if I'm awesome, you know my email crew is awesome. Like, come on, y'all. That's how it happens, okay? I'll see y'all on the up and up. Tune in next week. All right. See y'all. Love you. Peace.